Okay, starting to tear down process. And so I went ahead and I've removed the wings and I've got all my screws, putting them all off in a place where I can make sure I can retrieve them again. And so if you built the plane, you know how to take the wings off. So I didn't want to waste your time with that. So now I'm just going to start trying to figure out how to get this spar out. The first thing I'm going to look at, looks like there's a little panel right here, and there's a set of Allen screws. Let me get the right size there. Well, happens to be the same one for the other screws. I'm gonna put all the screws that come out of this part of the plane in another container, just keep them separate. So I've got some over in the shelf. There's six of these that are gonna come off. Yeah. Thank goodness for magnetic screwdrivers, right? Okay, so we got the 6 screws out. Let's see how this plate comes off. There's another plate right here that's got 2 Phillips head screws on there. And I had laid out a Phillips head screwdriver. Here it is. I'll go ahead and take this one off as well. We'll find out how much of this had to come off versus how much I'm taking off, but recovering parts anyway. All right, so on this right here are actually the servos that probably run the doors. Yeah, I'm sure these are the door servos. One of them actually broke. Both the horns are broke. But yeah, so that'll have to pull that out. That'll be connected in this mess here with the what would be called, I guess, the blue box or something like that, or it's where all the hookups are. I see some things disconnected. Not sure what they are right now, but we'll see. All right, I see. I haven't got the plate off yet. I'm not too worried, obviously too worried about this foam. So I'm just gonna, I don't know if it's glued down. Or maybe, oh, it looks like there's 2 more screws that may be attached to that. They're Phillips. So. And the good thing about me videoing this, like, see, I can go back and when I'm trying to put things back together, and just remember where things were when I started asking myself what went where. Let's see. It may be, I don't know, it may be a solid piece. There are more Phillips head screws that look like, I can't tell if this is a solid piece or not. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to take them out. Like I said, I'm just learning this thing as I go. They're probably one of those things where I've taken, you know, way more than I need to, but we'll review, you know, at the end what actually needed to come out versus what I took out. But like I said, since the plane is this part of the plane is obviously not recoverable. I've fixed a ton of planes that have been crashed pretty bad, but this one obviously was well beyond that. I mean, I probably could got a fuselage. All right, so that's just a little cover. So, and the little gray area, you know, matches the gray area of the cover right there. So I'm gonna set that aside. So there was 3 more screws I had to take out there. And plus, you know, if you had the part from Banana Hobby already, you know, you might be able to it may help, you know what's got to come apart. There's a screw down in there I'll have to get out. I tell you, it didn't have very many flights on it, and these wheels are already coming apart. They were going to probably have to be replaced. I am using paved runway, but they're really good gear. It may be all this other stuff has to come loose. That's just the gear. Holds the gear on. That cover. There's two plates right here. That looks like that when the gear rotate, it's what they rotates around. I'm not sure what's holding those plates in. There's also, I see 2 more screws down the bottom that I guess I'll just go ahead and take those out as well. Magnet on this thing has apparently lost some of its juice. I'll hook it up to a new magnet and to a magnet, remagnetize it here. Yeah. Trying to find one that's got a good magnet in it. Well, taking those 2 screws out the bottom, actually, the whole gear here came loose, which is a good thing. So these are the connectors. Can't see them. There's the servos. There's a gear here. I mean the connectors for the gears, and then the servos for the doors. So I'm going to pause the video and I'm going to disconnect some things, and which is good. Looks like this came off all on a nice good piece. So it looks like this is just all those screws actually just mounted it down is what held it in place, and it was just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It looks like 8 screws is what you got to take loose to take the gear out. So there's the first lesson. Okay, so there's a gear connection here, and there's a gear connection right there, and it looks like it's tied into the wire. They've got them taped together, which is probably the door, servo door. So I'm going to go ahead and unplug those and pull all that out together. Okay, so as I mentioned before, there was 8 screws that held this in. Ended up being, didn't need to take those little covers off there, but they're easy enough to put in. Then had to disconnect the wires here, and this is the gears and the servos for the control doors. So, and like I said, the control horns broke on this one. So I think the other plane's fine. I think the gears are working okay with them. So I won't have to replace them. But you know, we'll have to get them apart. So anyway, so that has that apart. We're gonna set that aside. So I don't see anything else right now on this side. So we're gonna turn her over and see what I got. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4 screws on there. And my guess is it's going to slide out, but we'll find out. Do have, you know, you'll have to be careful. You do have your aileron and your lights for your wings there, but, and so you look here, the 2 outside screws are Allen's, and the 2 inside screws are hex heads, so, or Phillips, I'm sorry. The 2 outsides are Phillips screws. And it looks like all these Phillips screws are, yeah, they're all the same size, so that helps a lot in getting things back together. So I'll take those out, and let's see. All right. So the way I got to this Allen screw is I went through one of the holes in where the wings connect to, and I think that's probably designed for that, quite honestly. It's a small one. I'll put it over there with the rest of them. Go to this other hole. Sorry, can't get down in there. It's at a little bit of an angle. There we go. All right, so turn it around. Go ahead and take these inner screws out here, since I got that one in my hand. anytime you're taking something apart, you know, any kind of home project where, you know, you got something that's, you know, you're going to have to remember how things go back together. Pictures, you know, videos these days, you know, you never know how handy they're going to come into, because you may get distracted. In this case, there's a lot of screws I'm taking out of this plane, and I probably won't get to the other plane tonight. All right, so I've got all the screws out. It appears to be loose, and it's just gonna come right out. It looks like there's, what's it, something's touching. Oh, it's gonna have to take some of the, it's probably the aileron or the lights. I did not unplug those, so I'm just going to go ahead and taking a picture of all this, and I can always go back to the book, I hope, and put all this back together. It's a different board in the other plane anyway, but I won't be having to disconnect all of them. All right, so got some bent pins from the crash, which is not to be unexpected. And yeah, I was just curious if I remember to. I had bypassed the gyro. I wasn't using the onboard gyro. I was using a Spectrum receiver. Yeah, and that's what was holding that. So these are the wing servos that will plug into there, and of course the aileron stuff is in there, but that's the part we were looking for that I need to put in the other place. Looked like maybe it had a little bit of glue on it, probably when they set the body on top of it, when they put it together in the half. But all right, so I got the part that I needed. I will, like I said, I will eventually come back in here, and you know, I got to pull my got to pull my ESCs out. Okay, I had not sure where this came from. When I turned it upside down, that fell out. It looks like it's the same things that when you put your wings down, so I'll need to go look at that. Oh, it fit it right here in the wing right here when you screw the wing down on top of it. So that pulls all that together. Scared me there for a minute. I was like, uh-oh, I'm gonna have to figure that one out. Anyway, going to pull, do it again. Going to have to pull the ESCs out and I'll go back and pull the motors out. I had also installed some RC Geek afterburners in there. Probably can't see them. Yeah, that one's broke. So I'll have to see if they still work. There's a video on putting those on. They're a little bit of a pain. Not horrible, but a little bit. And so I'll have to decide if I want to put all that back together or not. But anyway, all right, so there we go. There's my first step.